let's move forward on this discussion. We are welcomed back into the studio by our distinguished panel of guests who are going to amaze us with their insights. No, I actually believe that. Alonzo Lee, Grammy-winning producer, born and raised. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being back. You're on one of our first pilots.
Yes, yes, it was a lot of fun.
Well, I'm glad you're back. Thank you so much. Alex Enan from Next STL. Also a return visit. Thank you so much. And a return visit from Joe Wilson, too. I jokingly said we have you on because you have cool hair, but
thanks, appreciate it.
You cut it, I hear. So I don't know if that's going to work out, Samson. Maybe before we get going here, should we define civic pride a little bit? It means a lot of things to a lot of people. What does that, Alonzo, Alex, Joe? What does that mean to you guys?
Well, to me, it's pretty much what it means to be excited or enthusiastic about what's going on in your city and why. Something unique about where you're from. And not necessarily so much of a particular product or brand, but just something unique to your experience and where you're from and what that may mean to an outsider.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you guys on board with that? Is that?
Yeah, I think one of the things we were talking about earlier is having community confidence as a component of civic pride. So there's kind of the rah-rah pride, which is something akin to maybe patriotism. And then there's that confidence you have from being from a place, investing in a place, helping create a place. So you can walk out and say, look, my hands are on this, I own it. I'm going to defend it. This is mine, and we own it. And I'm going to be proud to share it off. And whether that's literally your street corner, your school, your business, or something like that. So I think this idea of community confidence maybe is something that I latch onto in terms of what creates pride in my mind.
Do we have that confidence, or do you find yourself defending it from time to time?
Defending it constantly.
Defending it. Why is that? What are you defending about our city, about our region?
There's a public perception that we're a dangerous place, that there's nothing going on here. I went to Mizzou for my undergrad, and friends from Texas, New York, like places not as far away, Louisville, they all thought that our city was on the downhill slide if it wasn't already in the gutter. Mm-hmm. It didn't help that there was a string of really bizarre crimes that happened at the time too. It was really difficult to defend a place that when they drove through, all they saw were dilapidated houses, empty warehouses. Mm-hmm. It was tough.
You travel the country, are you defending this town?
Yeah, absolutely. Like in terms of business, for example, there are people who were working with myself and my organization and other organizations from St. Louis, and they worked with both of us independently outside of here, but we didn't work together in St. Louis. So it gave the perception of like something's wrong with St. Louisans in terms of collaborating and having those conversations in our community and doing things together.
I think one of the points I made earlier is that I grew up in Indiana and I've been in town a little over 8 years, but I was 5 hours away from here and less than that at college for 27 years, and St. Louis made no impression on me at all.
First of all, I'd just like to point out it's a long time to be in college, but anyway. No, but go ahead.
I didn't have this idea that St. Louis was dangerous or empty or dilapidated or was losing jobs or anything. It just literally had no impression on me at all. And so, which is great in a way. When I came here, I really had an open mind and saw some wonderful things and saw some things maybe that aren't so great. But I think a lot of times that perception that other people, you can be from anywhere and you can meet someone from New York or Texas and they're going to think their home is better, right? Fine, that's great. And so we're a little bit defensive unnecessarily. And I think some of that is because we are fractured as a region. We don't necessarily feel ownership in the region. And so we do in sports teams, maybe we do in cultural institutions, but I was talking to Todd Swanstrom earlier, who I think is on the show later. He pointed out that only 11% of our metro area votes for the mayor of St. Louis. 11%. So the vast majority of our region isn't invested in the success of our mayor, which then translates to our city and our institutions and our street corners and everything else, whether it's violence or other things. So we're missing out on that collaborative investment that really would make us proud, I think.
That's not our only challenge either. What's something you see as a challenge for our region?
To me, it's just climbing out of the hole that we've lazily dug ourselves into. At least you started off with a blank slate when you got to the city. We played Detroit in the World Series not that long ago, and about the same time, our status as the nation's most dangerous city came out, and we held that over Detroit. But everybody kind of take that, Detroit. Why are we proud of that? It was really disappointing, and a lot of people said it tongue-in-cheek, but I think that hurt a lot of people. We've got to dig out of that hole.
Well, I think it's important just to embrace a different model in terms of abundance, and it's not so much that it's a scarcity concept where there's not enough, and we have to kind of scrap for things, and just be proud and understand that there's enough for everyone. And again, I'm going off of my experiences in leaving St. Louis and having the chance to see more and see how the cities are doing it, and just to know there's more opportunities out there. So I think that's the important thing to embrace, is that we have to understand as a community that there's more than just what we see in front of us.
What else do we need to do to kind of overcome this, the things we've talked about so far? And who needs to be involved in this?
I think you hit on something awesome right there, that there's enough to go around, because I think there's an us versus them mentality, not just of the city against other places, but every neighborhood against every other neighborhood. Sure. Everyone's trying to just get an edge over somebody else for whatever small business. If it's a Walgreens or a CVS or something like that coming into the neighborhood, at least that's something coming in. And people fight over that because that is tax dollars. That there's something to that. We need to get over the idea that there's only a finite amount of resources that we're arguing over, and that if we work together, we can potentially bring in more. There's more than just what we have right now.
Yeah, we have to find a way to develop a narrative about ourselves. And when people ask what St. Louis is and what the history is, and I've asked that question of a lot of people when, as I've lived here and got to know the city, and it's pretty thin, and I don't think, I was here 6 years before someone told me that Ike and Tina Turner made their gold records here. I mean, a couple blocks from here, right? Not very many people know that. Now, unfortunately, the other side of that is that site is currently a parking lot. So, we don't have everything that some other cities have in a concrete, physical way to celebrate, but we have an incredible history here. Our challenge is we have a legacy of once, quote, being greater. So you hear again and again and again that we're not what we used to be. TWA used to be here. All these things used to be here.
We had the World's Fair and we were the 4th largest city.
So somewhat we say, so what? And it's easy for a Denver, they're as great as they've ever been. They're as big as they've ever been. That's wonderful. But we have to get past that, and we have to be proud of what we have, and I don't know, stop apologizing. And the WHO, local government has to start collaborating, and we're starting to see it in the county, but we can't survive with 90 municipalities now in a separate city, and our political leaders have to show the way in a sense, and take some regional pride and cooperate with each other.
Yeah, this is not a conversation just about the city limits. This is a conversation about the, and it's two conversations. What did you say? Go ahead.
Oh, no, you were just talking about the 90-something unique sets of government that are in our region. Nobody wants to give up their little kingdom. You might only have a couple of hundred residents or something like that, but you don't want to give up your kingdom. It's really tough, I think, for a lot of the mayors and the government officials that exist there, because they do care about their community, but they also don't want to give up that small government, that one of their constituents can come up to them and say, hey, what's going on with the trash? Because the service sucks right now. Can you do something about that? He's your neighbor. The mayor's your neighbor. He can go do something.